Okay, one more video. Alright, I said I was going to do some fenders or something on this, and right now I haven't actually gotten to doing anything more on the cab just because I kind of wanted to get at this. This is going to be kind of the distinctive look on this rig. If you look at this, it kind of looks kind of odd, and this is actually just a frame that I can build around. If you look at it, it sits about there, and I've got one on the other side of the car here too. I haven't glued either of them down, but I'm going to end up wrapping this same way I did the front grille, the top of it, with a bunch of strips. And you're going to need a whole whack of strips. I'm probably going to go through 3 or 4 sheets just in 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch strips. But the whole idea is to take the strips and start on one, tack it to the second one, glue it on one, tack it to the second one, and then glue it to the third one. And it'll actually form a little bit of a curve. Let's see if I can get that on camera. See how it curves like that? Now, I'm probably going to have to do a couple of other curves on this. I'm going to sort of see how this evolves. Right now I'm not even going to glue them to the car yet. I'm going to start at the bottom here and see how stable and sturdy they are. They're a little bit wiggly right now. This is kind of a trick I picked up when I built a couple of hand stripped kayaks a couple years ago. And I'm hoping it's going to work. And I'm hoping I've got enough room under the wheel wells for articulation in the tires and suspension and stuff. I've got about a 1/4 inch that I've planned on, and I've made them longer so that when the tires turn they won't rub. I'm hoping that should be enough, seeing as how this is an on-road car. And well, let's get to it. Okay, welcome to Basket Weaving 101. Now, this might not look like too much of a car, but if you actually take from here up, that's actually the wheel well that I had, and I've beefed it up a little bit. I've added a couple more curves in there on the frame, and I've actually gotten to the second layer of this. I probably should have taken a time out to give you a little bit of a progress shot, but I kind of got a little bit involved in doing this. This is a good 6 hours of work probably to get it to this point. I'm probably going to spend another 3 or 4 to get it to a point where I'm ready to start sanding it. It's fairly easy, fairly straightforward. It's just really time consuming. And as you can see, this is going to be somewhat of a unique feature on this car. I mean, it's got some nice swooping curves, and they'll be all sanded out so they're nice and even. This is as close to bodywork as you do get in a 1/10 scale styrene car build. I mean, I could probably do it out of fiberglass and epoxies and fill it with Bondo, and it would probably take a lot longer because I'd have to build a full-on frame and then mount it around a frame. Anyways, I'll give you a couple more shots before I'm finished. We'll see how this goes. I'm not even sure if this is going to make it to video or not. Okay, just one more quick shot before I actually cut this thing apart. I've only got 2 layers on this right now, and I've still actually got some pieces clamped up. Just using spring clamps, like basic office style clamps, to hold things in place while the glue's drying up a little bit, just because some of the curves have a tendency to undo when you're gluing them. You glue one and then you'll unglue the last part that you did when you glue the second piece on. I'm going to try and cut this apart and get it mounted on the car before I go on with a 3rd layer. I'm going to put another 3rd layer, probably going this way, and then I'll fill it. I just want to see how it looks on the car and see how far over I need to come on this. This is the inside of the fender well. Alright, so the grill is going to be somewhere in here, and I want to be fairly tight on the grill and on the shock that's going to go in here. So I'm going to cut it apart, and I'll throw it on the car and see what she looks like. Okay, so these things are apart, and this is roughly what it looks like on the car. So they're probably going to come in a little bit further this direction. And I just need to trim around some shocks, and I'm hoping to actually tuck them down in and tie them in somewhere in the front of the engine compartment so that they're fairly sturdy and strong. But just in the way these are fabricated, with 2 layers of styrene, they're actually fairly solid. It's not like they'd withstand like a 40-mile-an-hour crash, but they'll handle a few bumps and a few knocks against a few walls when it's out on a track somewhere. Anyways, I'm going to probably mount these, and then I'm going to try and get a third layer on this just to beef them up, and then I'm going to go back and probably fill in some of the gaps on the bottom here like these, and I'll taper pieces to fit in each of those just to so I can smooth the inside of the fenders out. Okay, so this is basically what I'm trying to get on this car. I mean, as you can tell, it seems pretty simple, but it's actually fairly complex to build. At least the way I've done it. I could have, like, once again, I could have done it out of fiberglass and done forms and molds and stuff like that, and it probably would have turned out as well. It's a lot more work and it's a lot messier. I really wasn't in the mood to get into epoxies. Epoxies have a tendency to take over your home. Right now I've actually got 3 layers on this, and there's a little bit of filling left to do, and I still got to do some sanding. They're not actually technically glued onto the car yet. They're still a little flimsy. I've just got a couple of little paperclip spring clamps at the back. But I'm going to try and get, once again, something from here to tie into the back of the shock tower. I've got an idea of actually mounting a bracket across the back of the shock tower, tying in the front of the grill and these all into the same sort of thing. It might take 3 or 4 screws to do, but I think I can hide them in the engine and make them look like part of what's supposed to be in the engine. When I get to doing that, I think that will probably be another episode further down the line. I think this should be it for this video. I apologize for taking so long to get it out. It's been a heck of a week at work, just trying to get things done that needed to get done before I had some playtime. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed.